CanonPhoto.com. We're here in my room with the 100 to 400mm Canon EF lens, L lens, 30D Canon body, and basically, the reason why I'm making this video, I just made a video about the review of that lens, and there was something I wanted to say, but I decided I'd save it for a second video. A lot of people ask, should I get a new camera body? Should I get a new lens? Or what? What should I buy? What should I get? And basically, if you haven't already heard this 100 times, you're clearly new to photography. Every pro photographer will always tell you get glass before you get the body. It's what's most important. And basically, this is here to prove that to you. This is a Canon EOS 30D body. Retails for about $450 or something like that. I got it for $375 about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And this lens retails for $1,600 to, if you can find it for used, as like $1,200 or $1,100. Basically, this is just proof that is true. It's proof to me, definitely. I'd always known it, and this just proved to me when I used it. I'm just like, okay, that makes sense completely. The camera has its abilities to take photos and to capture them, and has the ability to change the ISO and all that kind of stuff, but what really matters is the glass. And basically, this is how I'll explain it in simple terms. If this makes sense to you, you have a giant window, just friggin' Iron Man window. If you haven't already seen the movie, his house with a giant window, and it's all foggy. That is an extremely expensive camera body, being the window, or the size of the window, excuse me, and the fogginess being the cheap lens. So if you have Canon EOS 5D Mark II or Mark III or 1DX, which isn't even out yet, and you put a kit 18 to 55mm lens on there, it's not gonna turn out very good. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be average. $7,000 camera body and a $100 lens. It's not gonna do much. It's very limited. But whereas you take a $1,600 lens or more expensive, and you take a cheaper camera body, this was $375, and it creates great images. So definitely, if you buy a decent body, like a 30D, if you're on Nikon, then a D90 or something, buy a middle line kind of camera. I would, for Canon, it's kind of hard to tell, depending on what you're shooting, whether you should get a 60D or a 7D, which is slightly higher end, or should you get T2i or T3i, or 30D, 40D, 50D. If you're not just planning on shooting any video, then definitely go with a 40 or 50D. I have a 30D, which is fine for now. I'll definitely upgrade. If you really want to shoot video, then go with T2i, T3i, or if you can afford a 60D. That's very popular. If you can afford the 60D, definitely get that. But once you get the camera body, do not worry about upgrading for a long time. I immediately after getting this camera body, I'm like, oh, I want to upgrade. But I realize that although it does have its limitations, like it can't go super high on the ISO, and it has the crop sensor, which it's kind of iffy if you prefer crop sensor or full frame. That's kind of up to you. I don't necessarily mind the crop sensor, but I would like to have a full frame body and a crop sensor body, just because they have two completely different purposes, really. But it does have its slight limitations. It doesn't have a super fast frames per second. It goes 6.3, I believe, whereas 70 goes 8 frames per second. So if you're shooting sports or shooting nature or something, then you want as fast as you can get. But 6.3 seconds is fine, or 6.3 a second is fine. But definitely get the lenses before you get a new camera body. If you have a decent camera body, then just worry about your lenses. Don't worry about your camera body. Leave it. Unless it gets broken, then it's fine. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Lenses are what you need to focus on. You need to get a 50 prime, an 85 prime, a wide angle zoom, or even a wide angle prime, a telephoto or 2 telephotos. Just focus on those. Do not worry. Just get decent lenses. Start out with obviously the kit lenses. If you have the money, obviously pay for more expensive lenses, but get good glass before you get a new camera body. That's what is important when it comes to photography. The lens, what is coming through the lens is what really matters. The camera, all camera bodies have their abilities to capture a great image. All of them. Even down to like a 10D, which is an extremely old Canon camera. I haven't necessarily used it, but I have a friend that used one. I don't know if she owns it or not, but she used one and she created some great images with it. So definitely don't worry about the body as much. If you already have a body or 2, don't worry about the body. Leave the bodies alone. They are fine how they are. Get the lenses before you get the bodies. Those are what are most important. I'll show example images of what I got with this lens. If you haven't already seen it in the review of this lens, I'll show you some example images of how a slightly cheaper mid-range body can create some great images with an expensive lens. If you haven't seen the review on this, I will tell you right now, this is not my lens. Body is mine. I do have a telephoto lens and a slightly wide-angle to mid-range lens, which is completely both kit and pretty cheap lenses, which I will eventually get rid of, but for now they work well. But I did not steal this. This is my teacher's lens. He let me borrow it. He said he would. He hardly ever lets people borrow this lens because it's extremely expensive, but he trusts me and he knows me pretty well, and I had good reason to use it. But go ahead and see the other video if you want to know why I borrowed it. But anyways, do you want to get the tech or get the glass? Go with the glass every single time, okay? Get the glass. Get the glass, get the glass, get the glass. Say that 5 times fast, it's really hard. Get the glass, that is what is most important. That's all I'm saying. MurrayPhoto.com. See ya.